Well, I know that he's very happy there. I mean, I think we were very lucky about the way that he made that transition, because he had actually spent time there, and in enjoyable time there. When my mother was there alone, he visited, and he there were certain activities like yeah, every week somebody came and did a sort of music therapy with them, and I know my uncle enjoyed that, and would often time his visit so that he was there for that session, you know. And he got to know some of the carers, and Edith in particular, and he really loves Edith. He actually went up to her the other day and told her, you know, no uncertain terms, that he felt very lucky to be there, and really appreciated, you know, how wonderful she was. So, you know, she was like, oh, sure. I mean, certainly from, you know, from before he went in, I mean, though he was obviously at home, and until COVID was able to go out and wander around and so on, you know, he was essentially not that many, you know, not that social, in that there was my mother, and then there wasn't my mother. There was, you know, there was some carers. Oh, well, there was my father too before that, but then he went into care. There were some carers, but you know, you wouldn't call it a community. You know, whereas now, and my uncle is a social being. You know, he likes to meet other people. He likes to go and sit in coffee bars and coffee shops, and just sort of, you know, he gets to know the staff and some of the other regulars, and you know, he will become a creature of habit and will go back to that coffee bar, you know, quite often. Yeah, so he, you know, when he went off to the doctor, he had a sort of, he would leave quite early, and he would go to a certain coffee bar, and he'd sit there and have his coffee, and then he'd go to the doctors, and then he'd go back, and he'd have some lunch somewhere, and he would always go to the same places, you know.
Yeah.
So I think what he likes, you know, one of the things he really likes about Rathmore House is he is in a community. And I must say, you know, Compton Lodge, Rathmore House, the rooms are, on the whole, really, you know, they've got space. They're encouraged to bring their own furniture and stuff. You know, they're encouraged to be independent as possible. They're encouraged to walk. You know, they all eat together, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I mean, in as much as, obviously with breakfast they don't all get up at the same time, but you know, they're certainly discouraged from eating in their bedrooms, you know.
Sure. Yeah.
And I think, you know, that's good. There's a community there, and I think that was something that I really picked up on both of the homes. Obviously, when I looked at homes, I looked at activities and their living conditions and the food and all of those sorts of things. But I suppose it's the friendliness of the staff, and the way that they really care for their people, you know, and they always come and make an assessment before they, you know, they always come and see the person who's coming in their living, you know, where they're living at that moment, before they will move, you know, just to assess them, meet them, and they're very welcoming. I think more welcoming than I had imagined. And yeah, and also the support to me personally has been outstanding.